Hello everyone and welcome back to What No One Tells You. My name is Claudia Slujitoru and this is the podcast where we talk honestly about what it actually takes to lead people well. Today we are going into something that every manager I have ever worked with has experienced at least once, and most have experienced far more often than they would like to admit. We are talking about losing control of your emotions at work, and more specifically, what you do in the exact moment it is already happening. But let me ask you something before we begin. When was the last time you felt your jaw tighten in a meeting, or noticed your thoughts start racing as someone said something that caught you completely off guard? When was the last time your mouth opened before your brain had quite finished deciding what you actually wanted to say? If you are a manager, I suspect the answer is closer than you would like it to be, because this is one of those experiences that comes with the territory of leading people. And yet, almost nobody gives you a practical tool for handling it in real time. That is precisely what I'm giving you today. But before I get to the technique, I want you to sit with one idea for a moment. Your body reacts to emotional triggers faster than your conscious mind does, and this is not a character flaw or a sign that you are not suited to leadership. It is simply how the human nervous system works. When you feel threatened, dismissed, disrespected, or blindsided, your physiology activates before you have had any single rational thought, which is why the well-meaning advice to just stay calm so rarely works in practice. By the time you're thinking, you're already 2 steps behind this moment. What does work? What actually interrupts the reactive cycle before the damage is done is having a preloaded response, something your nervous system and your mind can execute almost automatically, something that creates just enough space between the trigger and what comes out of your mouth. That space, small as it seems, is the difference between the manager who handles the situations and the one who becomes the story that gets told about it afterwards. So here is the technique. I call it the 3-beat pause. And the goal is to practice it until it becomes as instinctive as breathing. Beat 1. Locate the signal. The moment you feel something shifts inside you, your only job is to find it in your body, not to analyze it, not to push it down, just to register it. Is it in your chest, your throat, your shoulders, or your stomach? This takes approximately 1 second, and what it does is quite remarkable. It moves your attention inward, which immediately interrupts the impulse to react outward. You are buying yourself time and space without anyone in the room being remotely aware that this is what you are doing. And ask yourself this: where do I feel stress first in my body? Most people have a signature location, a place where the tension lands before it becomes visible behavior, and learning yours is generally one of the most useful things you can do for your leadership. Because the moment you feel it, that is your signal. The 3-beat pause begins right now. Beat 2. Name what you are feeling silently. Not out loud, not even in a whisper, just inside in 2 or 3 words. I am angry. I feel dismissed. I am embarrassed. There is a consistent body of research in neuroscience showing that simply labeling an emotion reduces its intensity. Because naming what you feel shifts activity from the reactive part of your brain towards the part that thinks, reasons, and chooses. You are not suppressing the emotion or pretending it is not there. You are processing it just enough to remain the person in the room who decides what happens next, rather than the one who simply reacts to what happened. This takes another second or 2 at most, and to everyone around you, you are simply present and attentive. Beat 3. Take 1 slow breath and choose your first word. Not your whole response, not even your whole first sentence. Just your first word, because the first word sets the entire tone of everything that follows. I understand opens a very different conversation but that is interesting lands very different than no. Tell me more creates a very different dynamic than that is not right. One deliberate breath, one chosen first word, and then you speak. In real time, the whole sequence takes between 3 and 5 seconds, which is all you need to move from reactive to intentional. From the manager who snapped to the manager who held it together. From the person people discuss quietly after the meeting ends to the one they describe as someone who never loses the plot under pressure. Here is your exercise for this week. Identify one recurring situation at work where emotions tend to run high for you. It might be a particular team meeting, a one-to-one with a specific person, or the moment your own manager gives you critical feedback. Before that situation arises, take 30 seconds to remind yourself of the 3 beats. During it, notice when your body signal appears and run the sequence. Afterwards, take just 1 minute to reflect. Did the pause happen? What was the first word that you chose? And what felt different? You are not training yourself to become someone who feels nothing. You are training yourself to feel everything and still choose deliberately and consciously how you show up. That is a whole difference between a manager who is controlled by the room and a manager who controls themselves inside it. The companion PDFs of this episode gives you the 3-beat pause as 1-page reference card, including a body signal inventory, an emotion labeling list, and everything you need to start the weekly exercise. You will find it linked in the show notes. And if this episode resonated with you, please do share it with the manager in your network who could use it, because every team deserves a leader who has learned how to pause. My name is Claudia Slujitoru, and now you know, because I told you. And see you next time. Goodbye.